How you going, RPG fans? This is going to be a very interesting, slightly controversial video, but something has been bothering me for a good deal of this year, and I kind of want to rectify that straight away. One of the big things I've did this year is I finally got out my 10 favorite RPG series of all time, and I want to thank everyone who liked those videos, because it was a long time coming to talk about my favorite RPGs and why I love the genre so much. However, there was one entry in that series that I would like to change, because I've been thinking about it, and this series I really did put up there because of one game, but I've actually started to realize these last couple of months that there's another game that I like more than that particular game. There's a series that I like more than that particular series, and not having this certain series that I think about, weekly, sometimes daily, to not be on there, it just doesn't seem right. So I basically have to be honest. I have to step forward and make this big omission. So if you are wondering what series am I going to take out of the top 10 list, and this will probably go to straight out to my 11th favorite series of all time. I love this series, but I have to openly admit I'm really struggling to play some of the older games in the series, and that is Persona. I know there's a lot of people really shocked. I really love Persona 4, and that was the reason when I was making this list, is I wanted Persona 4 to be represented on this top 10 RPG list. But I think Persona 4 as a game is great, but this whole everything that surrounds it, Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4, coming out soon, is Dancing All Night, and Persona Q. And playing Persona Q made me realize that while I do like this, there's another series that I just enjoy a lot more. I seem to struggle to play most Persona games. I will say this now, I only played Persona 3 once, and I have never had any desire to go back to it. Even when I bought the portable version, I only played a couple of hours, and I don't think I've ever gone back to it. And that might have been 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago. I don't remember, but Persona 1 and 2, if I was this so-called big Persona fan, I would have jumped to play 1. I would have jumped to get the special edition of 2, but every time something always comes up. And I remember one day when I did buy a special edition for this game I'm going to put in place of Persona, instead of buying the Persona 2 Innocent Sin special edition, and it kind of dawned on me that this other series I feel more strongly than Persona. And for me, Persona is really, my love of Persona only really is that one game, that one Persona 4 game, and Persona 4 The Golem, because I just think it's an enhanced port of that game. Nothing against Persona 3, I really like Persona 3, but there's just something about it that makes me struggle to want to play it again. And I have this feeling that, while I'm grateful for playing it once, I don't think I'll ever go back to it. And that's just me being honest. I will keep a copy around, because I like the game that much to keep it around, but I don't think I'll go back to it anytime soon. And one, I gotta say now, I struggle to play 1, and people would assume that it would be easy for me because I grew up in the 90s and played the 8-bit, 60-bit, 32-bit RPGs. But it's not about where it came from, what style of game it is. If it just works in general, and something about Persona, I think it might have been the battle system. The battle system was just oh man, I was not feeling it, and the story as well, I wasn't really feeling it as well. So I kind of put it to the side, and that's another game I just have no inkling to go back to. And Persona, and I didn't want to play Persona 2 until I beat Persona 1, so I've got this situation going on here where it's there's so much games I want to play, and I have so little time to do it. I have to make these choices, and I've kind of, at this stage of my life, I've kind of made the choice to sort of keep Persona in this certain place where I will always be interested in the next big game, but I don't know if I could go back or play any of the side content or whatever. So I had to omit Persona down to number 11, purely just mainly for Persona 4. And I like I said, I do like 3, but that's just the way it is. I just have to be honest. And you are now wondering, in its place, what is this so-called marvelous game that is better than Persona? And this is, my own opinion. There's a lot of people out there that will probably think Persona is better than this game, but this series has a hold on me. It is just so wonderful. The story and the characters are so well written. I think the combat system is one of the best I've experienced in the last 10 years, and I actually enjoy the game for the combat system as well. The customization of the series is also fantastic, and the music is like the best. And I think a lot of people have already catched on to which series I'm going to talk about. You should know me from now, guys. It is no surprise. The true number 8 spot goes to the Legend of Heroes Trails series. This is what was bothering me all year, that Trails was not on the top 10 list. The reason I didn't put it on there, because I have not beaten a lot of the games. What I have not told my friends this year is I've actually gone back to each and every game at least once per month. I always pop in Al no Kiseki. Sometimes I'll load up my save file on the 3rd and play that on my PS3. I've played a little bit of Sen no Kiseki, and that is such an amazing game. Like, the Vita port of that game is really good as well. As I've never played the PS3 version, but that is probably one of the best looking games on the PlayStation Vita. And I actually like the fact that the combat system is changed up a little bit, and it's actually I would say a little more complex from what I've played of it so far. And the whole setting of Sen no Kiseki is so interesting, and just as a fan of what I've experienced so far, it's just the number one game that just gets me hyped up so much. For example, the other day they showed off a teaser for the Trails in the Sky first chapter evolution version that's coming to the Vita, and I think I might have watched that trailer at least 10 times on Christmas Day. I just kept recycling. I was so engrossed in it, and the reason why is because this trailer just showed bits of the game and brought back so many wonderful memories of me playing Trails in the Sky back in 2011. And I was also hyped the fact that they've got these new pieces of artwork for all the characters. The entire soundtrack is going to be completely redone. And, I'm definitely going to get it. I am the Falcon fanatic, and collecting Falcon games is what brings me the most joy in my life. And every Trails game that I've only been 2 Trails games, and I love them both equally. I've been Trails in the Sky, and I've been the Zero no Kiseki, the Trails of Zero. And even though that was in Japanese, I got help from my good friend Taylor, information that I looked on the internet, and I thought the story of Trails of Zero was just, it was so good. It was so phenomenally epic. Like, it is like the top quality. Like, I always talk about how Falcom is like the best at video game music. I've always discussed with people that they could also be the best writers in the video game industry, at least in the JRPG, for the JRPG genre, honestly. And the Trails series is if you ever played Trails in the Sky, you know how good the writing is in that game, and it never falters. And that's why usually when I did the top 10 list, I always put my favorite game of that series. And honestly, from what I've played, I cannot put just a number one favorite game, because what I've played, they are all equally amazing. And I had to have it on there. I mean, it's just a game that I keep thinking about every day. I really do. And like recently I took a hiatus from Falcom collecting, but this last week all I've been thinking about is just getting some more Trails stuff for my collection, and I definitely want to get FC Evolution when it comes out, because it just looks like a wonderful port. And what's really good is I could play that in Japanese because I already know the entire story anyway, so I can enjoy the game again. The other thing that I did was I downloaded, of course, the PC version on Steam. And it was so amazing. The game running in 60 frames per second, and it was so fluid. And just seeing all the story again, and all the characters and all the memorable dialogue, it just put a big smile on my face. And just the last couple of months, I've just been thinking, this really should have been on the list to begin with. And I was wondering, well, what do I like better than the rest? I kind of thought to myself, I like Trails in the Sky a little bit more than Castlevania, and I liked it a little bit more than Golden Sun. But at the same time, I thought Golden Sun and Castlevania were actually, I loved them more than Persona. So I thought Persona was kind of the series that I had to put away, because essentially it was really only on the list because of one game. And here's a series that, from what I've played so far, I've just loved every second of it. And I just want to invest more time again to the series a lot more. Like, the game that I'm currently playing in the series is Ano Kiseki, which translates to Trails of Blue, and I'm actually kind of really deep in that game. I'm nearly hit the halfway mark, and it's amazing. It really is an amazing game. And my biggest wish for this hobby, for this industry, is for somehow for all the games in the series to be translated in one way or another. I don't care if it takes 20, 30 years, as long as I'm around to finally experience these wonderful games. And these games are so good, they potentially can jump up the list, higher than it is now. And I just wanted to share with you guys this big omission, this big confession about me and Persona, that I love it, but I think I'm starting to realize I don't love it as much as other people. And I think it's just mainly for Persona 4. And it's just mainly for the game, and none of the little extra side offerings that surround it. Which is going to lead to a very interesting episode of RP Gibberish when I talked to my good friend Aerodynamic. She was like the biggest Shin Megami Tensei fan on the planet, so that's going to be awesome. So by the way, just another sort of shameless shout out to our wonderful podcast RP Gibberish. I hope you can tune into our episodes whenever they get uploaded, but I definitely will bring that up next episode. So anyway, I'm just rambling on right now. I just wanted to get this out of the way. So the true number 8 spot in my top 10 RPGs of all time goes to the Legend of Heroes Trails / Kiseki series. And I do want to do a video talking about why I love the series more in depth in the future. I think I'll just end it by saying that if you want to get into the Kiseki series, everyone who owns a PSP, a Vita, or a PC, get it from your retailer, get it secondhand. Download it off PSN or download it off Steam. Guys, it's just one of the best RPGs ever made. You will not regret playing it. It's just so amazing. So that's it for this video. I'm probably going to be uploading more of these videos to the end of the year, which I'm going to have a spectacular end of year video. I think a lot of people already know what's going to be. So until then, take care everyone.